How Jordan Pickford went from scrawny kid to England's no one for the World Cup. Jordan Pickford was on the England team bus for the first time in 2016 when Captain Wayne Rooney took a sneaky picture on his mobile phone. The snap was sent to John O'Shea, a teammate of the young goalkeeper at Sunderland. George Honeyman was in the Black Cats dressing room when O'Shea shared it with the rest of the squad. Rooney wrote in the message, "Hasn't said a word," reveals the midfielder, a pal of Pickford since the age of 11 at the club's academy. "It was funny. Jordan was so lovely at Sunderland, he never shut up. But he'd gone there and not spoken at all. We found it quite unusual." The ribbing did not end there, as Honeyman recalls. "Jordan's not the type to brag, but he came back into training with us and let slip something about Waza. He got a bit of stick for that. Less than 2 years on and that impressionable rookie is England's no one, becoming the most expensive keeper in British history last summer when he joined Everton for £30 million. He will earn just his 4th cap when he lines up against Tunisia next Monday for England's World Cup opener in Volgograd. Speak to those who know Pickford best, however, and they will tell you that such inexperience will not faze the 24-year-old. Honeyman was on FaceTime with him earlier this week and says he is raring to go. But that, it would appear, has always been his way. "I played with him all the way through and he's always been such a fierce competitor," adds Honeyman. "He had his mood swings if he didn't get his own way, but the main reason he has succeeded is how competitive and aggressive he is. Off the pitch, he's the life and soul. No one dislikes him. Everyone says goalkeepers are mad, but he genuinely is. He's a nutter, in the nicest way. He loves his boxing, motocross, golf. He's just a full-on, fun guy to be around." Former Sunderland academy boss Kevin Ball was still club captain when he first met Pickford, then a 5-year-old autograph hunter sticking his pen and pad through his hero's car window. Born in working-class surrounds in Washington, 8 miles from the Stadium of Light, Pickford was a Sunderland fanatic, just like his builder dad, Lee, and his mother, Sue. "He asked for my autograph and a photo and said I was his favorite player," remembers Ball, now a club ambassador. "He showed me that picture years later and asked if I recognized who was in it. I said, well, the handsome one is obviously me, and I'm guessing that scrawny little kid is you?" Ball's relationship with his talented teenager was not always so jovial, as Honeyman recalls with a smile. "We were away at Blackburn and Bally was giving Jordan a bit of stick for one of their goals," he says. "Bally had a habit of it being his way or the highway and they started arguing. Bally said, 'You'll never make it with that attitude.' Jordan just stared straight back at him and said, 'I bet I will.' Normally when Bally was shouting at players they'd wither and cave in. Not Jordan, he dared him to bet against him. We knew then that it would be Jordan who was proved right." Ball recalls the same tale with affection rather than anger, but adds, "I had to make him understand where he was and what he needed to do to get to where he wanted to be. He thought he was the best. He knew he had potential and athletic ability. But you have to work hard to achieve that, and he has. He wanted to be in the first team at 17 and was pushy, but I liked that. He challenged me." Pickford rang Ball on the morning of his senior debut to say thank you. He is, it seems, a young man who will never forget his roots. He now lives on Merseyside with his childhood sweetheart Megan Davison but made a point of returning to the Northeast to collect his Football Writers' Young Player of the Year award in February. The comedian that night was, at times, as blue as Everton's jersey, but Pickford laughed along heartily, later taking time to chat to Sunderland fans. Earlier, it had been his turn to oblige with a queue of autograph hunters. "He's a typical, down-to-earth local lad. There is no arrogance to him, it's all confidence," says Adrian Tucker, the former Sunderland goalkeeping coach who worked with Pickford after his first team breakthrough. Remarkably, that did not arrive until January 2016, coming on the back of loan spells and more than 100 appearances at Darlington, Alfreton, Burton, Carlisle, Bradford and Preston. "What I love about him is his mental strength," says Tucker. "We used to play golf together and I would give him a thrashing, But he got over it, he'd always come back for more. I remember going to watch him when he was on loan at Bradford against Yeovil. In the first 5 minutes he got absolutely clattered by their big centre forward. The first thing he did was get straight back up. I thought, "You'll do for me, son." It was not always Pickford being clattered, however. Sunderland's juniors were away at Crystal Palace one afternoon when his usually dependable kicking let him down. What followed has stayed with Honeyman, and he laughs as he begins. He mishit this clearance and it obviously annoyed him. It wasn't going to make halfway. Jordan has realized and gone steaming out, chasing after it. The ball landed with their player on about the center circle and he was just getting himself composed, unaware that Jordan was running towards him at full speed. Honestly, it was one of the best tackles I've ever seen. He sent their guy absolutely flying but won the ball with it. He wiped him out. I don't think the lad recovered. But that's Jordan: determination, pride in himself and confidence. Keeping Pickford within the confines of his penalty area was a constant issue for Ball, and not because he was prone to a rush of blood. Far from it, it was more because of his composure than a lack of it. Those skills honed playing in the street with older brother Richard Logan, a one-time striker for Darlington. We had one session where we put the goalkeeper at centre-back, just to help them understand the game from the position directly in front of them, says Ball. Jordan was unbelievable. He was just as good as an outfield player because of that natural footballing talent with his feet. The way he can strike a ball with pace and